This is the best method to get more customers or clients for your business this year. So regardless of whether you're trying to just get consistent revenue or even trying to scale your business, everything I've mentioned in this video will help you do that. So without further ado, let's get into the video. If you're a small business owner and you're struggling to get enough engagements and interactions on your website, whether it's form fill outs or enough just clicks across your website and people interacting with it, then I want to go through a few different things that are going to help you optimize your website for more engagement and to get more people to sign up to your products or services, to your email lists and whatever it might be, submit inquiries and all that sort of stuff. So I want to quickly go through a simple step-by-step process of what you should have on your website. And I'm going to go through probably two of the biggest companies in the world as far as how good their funnels and their websites are in terms of how optimized they are. So to begin with, let's just go through a very simple step-by-step process of what your website should look like. Now, as far as web developers and web designers know, there's this technical jargon referred to as the fold. There is above the fold and below the fold. Now, you can forget that because it basically just means the first thing you see before you scroll, and then once you scroll, what do you see when you go down the page? So the first thing you always really want to see is this. You want to see your offer. You want to see whatever your offer is and whatever way you want to try and pique the person that has come onto your website's interest. So whether it's a potential customer, client, a free download, a lead magnet, whatever it might be. The next thing you want to do once they start scrolling, or the first thing they might see as well, is just who you are. Figure out who you are as a business owner, and then secondly, going down to what you do. Now, you don't really want to go into complex systems, pros, cons, and processes. You just simply want to explain, again, desired outcomes you help people achieve and problems that you solve for them. Then you go down to portfolio that you might have. You might have screenshots of, if you're a marketing agency, screenshots of your ad campaigns. You might have portfolios if you're a service-based business of the service you provide, whatever installations you do if you're that type of business, whatever it might be. Then you need your social proof, which is testimonials, reviews, just customer client feedback, basically to show that, real people have, come to, come to need your products or services. And these are some of the feedback from those people. And then once you get down to the very bottom of it, you can go into a little bit more detail. Again, not complex, but just maybe more feature-based, not necessarily desired outcomes now, but feature-based in terms of what you do. Like you get this for this, and you get this for this, and we do this and this, all that type of stuff. And then you end basically with another offer or type of lead magnet or capture email inquiry, submit for a free quote. Basically, it might be the same as the top one, or it might be a different one, but either way you end with another way to capture their attention by getting a free quote, whatever it might be. So let me show you two examples of two of the biggest brands in the world. Apple and ClickFunnels is another one for business owners as well. So immediately wanted to show you what a well-optimized funnel looks like. So as soon as you go onto apple.com, you see all of the different products and services they offer. And then the first thing you see is the latest iPhone, simple quote, like motto there, learn more or buy. You can scroll down, see all the others, very nicely well-formatted page. And of course, I can simply switch to mobile to also see how it works here. Looks perfect. You scroll down again and looks absolutely fantastic. They've got all the things I mentioned in that about, what they do and the products and the features they have available. And they're talking in terms of desired outcomes and pain points solved. If we go to ClickFunnels, which is again more for business owners, we immediately know what they do and what we can get. So we can start a free trial, helping you, again, it's talking about a pain point there instead of like, we help you build websites. It's struggling to get a consistent flow of customers. And of course, you can even go to mobile here and it will still be as optimized perfectly, just like that. Again, talking to people's pain points, testimonials, feedback, and everything is perfectly formatted. I wanted to specifically use this one because this is literally $1 billion company that literally helps you build funnels and websites for your website. So a funnel building company that's a software company should have one of the best websites. So that's just an example of some of the things you need in order to optimize your website for more conversions, to get more engagement. I want to explain to you how you can leverage content marketing to basically help you drive more engagement across your content, get more people to click on your content, copy it, comment on it, share it, whatever it might be. So to begin with, what we want to focus on is simply knowing your customer. If you don't know your customer, then you don't know their pain points, their desired outcomes that you can speak to, help them solve with your product or service or whatever you offer. So if you don't know your customer, or your potential customer at least, and their pain points and desired outcomes, then you don't know who you're talking to. So understand that first, then speak to their pain points and desired outcomes and their interests so that you can get to, speak to that more, and then people will be more interested in engaging with the content. Now, secondly, you just want to become like a trusted advisor, I think of it as. You want to build rapport with potential customers or clients. You want to build the trust and authority and rapport building before you even see them in person, to be honest, or even buy from you. People will trust you and see you as the authority figure in your space simply by making content that's tailored to their life and their situations, which will massively help you in getting them to eventually buy from you. And then thirdly, is consistency. If you're only posting once a week or once a month, the algorithms and platforms you're posting on don't even really register you as having a pulse as a business. So posting consistently is a bare minimum. 2 to 3 times a week is a bare minimum. Again, duplicating your posts just across social media is one of the most important things you can do. Just make the platforms know you're alive and have a pulse as a business is so important there. Fourth is you just basically want to do SEO. You want to optimize for whatever people are searching for and their interest. So speak to the pain points and desired outcomes people have. Speak to whatever they're searching for in actually the way you talk, as well as the captions and the words you use in your content as well is crucial so that you actually show up on people's social media feeds. Fifth is to promote the content. Get people to share it across social media platforms. Get friends and family and potential customers or clients to share it. Get it put in your newsletters. Put a link to a piece of content across different places in emails. Get it so that it gets everywhere, basically. And that brings me perfectly into number 6, which is, if you want content to go viral, make it shareable. So make people want to share your content around, which basically gives content a high virality score. Viral content is stuff that has been shared and shared and shared so many times by millions of different people. And then finally, you need to be measuring and adjusting all the time. You need to be tracking different things in the same way that all these ad experts, we're just simply tracking things all the time. We're looking at the different metrics like mad scientists, looking at all these different figures, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and doubling down on what does work and going with that until we get results from it. I've got one simple question to ask you before you dive into any of the specific reasons as to why you are struggling to get more customers or clients right now. How often are you posting on social media? How many times in the week, in the month, in the year are you putting out pieces of content that show people who you are, where you are, what you do, and the problems and desired outcomes that you solve for people? How often are you just talking on social media as the business? Because this is what's stopping most small business owners from scaling. How many times do you see ads from your favorite brands? How many times do you see content from all these influencers and people like that? Because ultimately, the bigger brands have realized they need influencers to actually post for them, and that's obviously like much more advanced, deeper strategy I could go into another video. But nonetheless, as a small business owner, how much are you posting on social media, and how often are you posting? Because I want to give you a very clear example here. This is a screenshot from one of Alex Hormozi, who's a world famous influencer now, the author of the $100 million offers, $100 million leads, and then his next book coming out in maybe a year or so. He made an entire webinar and YouTube funnel showing all of his content distribution and how he now posts like 250 pieces of content a week. This was like a year ago and it was like 80 pieces of content a week. Now it's like a couple hundred a week. And obviously I understand you might not have an entire media and marketing team to make this possible, but it does not mean that something near this scale isn't feasible for you. For instance, if you have 1 to 2 hours a week to grow your business and get more customers through online methods, do you have 1 to 2 hours a week to make a couple of long form pieces of content and then pay someone or spend another hour or two editing that into shorter pieces of content for social media as well? Because that's what it really takes now to get more attention onto your business, so people in the local area and online in the local area know what you're doing, have more interest in what you're doing because you're doing it consistently and frequently, and that way you have a high likelihood of actually growing your business and getting more customers. So simply posting once or twice a week isn't enough anymore. And even if you aren't posting once or twice a week, that's an even bigger problem here anyway. But if you had the if you have the realization, hopefully from watching this video, that starting to post 1 or 2 long form pieces a week, even bare minimum, and then hiring someone or spending a couple of hours yourself, turning that into 5 or 10 times the amount of shorter pieces that you can then put across social media as well. Because as a bare minimum, I'd say from just content repurposing, you want, I would say, a bare minimum of one piece of content per day per platform as a bare minimum for small business owners. If you are not putting out a tweet on, Twitter X, TikTok and Instagram reel, if you're not posting at least once a day bare minimum, regardless of whether you make, 10,000 a year or 10 million a year in your business, you need to be posting at least once a day in the business. Obviously, if you've never, ever posted before on social media, you kick things off slowly, maybe post 3 to 5 times a week. Then over the course of a couple of weeks to a couple of months, you slowly build it up. So it's at least once a day within maybe like 2 weeks to a month, to be honest. But every small business should be posting at least once every day. If not, I would say ideally 3 to 5 times a day. And then once you have an entire media team, once you can afford to hire someone at least part-time or work with someone full-time, ideally, you then have the capacity to be able to let them film things, let them, repurpose content for you, because 3 to 5 times a day, I'd say, is like a decent average for anybody that's actually trying to get more customers and clients for their business, get more attention, more online word of mouth, not just local word of mouth, because that's what's really important. So I hope this really helps, because ultimately, if you aren't posting as a bare minimum once a day on every platform, again, you don't have to make different content for different platforms. You just take the same piece of content, share it everywhere, do that 7 days a week. That's a great start to begin with. Then you go from there, maybe start doing 2 to 3 pieces of content a day after a month or after just a couple of weeks. Then go to 3 to 5 pieces of content per day, and then see how things go, because most people complain they're not getting any more customers because they posted 3 times this month on social media. Well, what did you expect? You posted 3 times this month. Once you start posting 3 times a day, then we can start talking and see if this is actually going to work out, because just the consistency and the repetition of actually putting out that content is what's going to get people to notice you. Because again, it's just like with anything, the consistency of doing this frequently enough is what's going to get people to notice your business, notice the problems you solve for people, whether it's a product you sell or a service you offer, and then they'll see you more and more and more. You build up that reputation online and in person, and then people start to see you and want to buy from you. This is one simple thing that you can implement from today that is actually going to guarantee sales in your business. And no other method of marketing or any other practice you can do in your business really guarantees sales like this does, especially for the price. Because even just with your first £100 to £200 or dollars invested into this, you can start seeing customers and clients and interested leads come into your business. And this is with running paid ads. Now, I just want to dive into a few different reasons why you need to get into ads straight away. Because again, even if you only have this first couple £100 or dollars in profit left over in the month, this is why you want to get started. So to begin with, you're just going to, drive consistent traffic to your, website, to your content, to wherever you're trying to get people to go to, because you're paying for customers at this point. You're paying to target interested people that already are warmed up to whatever your products or services may solve for them or get to a desired outcome for them. So it's going to drive consistent traffic. It's going to be larger traffic because it's going to be more people that are more interested than just anybody that randomly sees one of your free pieces of content. You're actually going to have more measurable results because, again, with ads, you get more metrics you can track. Number of clicks you get. Not only do you get the number of impressions, but the amount of people that click on the link, go to your website. You often have the Facebook and Meta pixels, and obviously with Google, you get all those different metrics as well, but I'm not going to dive into the technicalities in this. You can increase the actual amount of sales and conversions you get compared to free content because, again, you're targeting interested people that are already looking for whatever your product or service is, as opposed to just free content on the side. So that way you have a much higher return on investment, ROI, from paid ads versus just free content. Because again, that spare couple hundred, even if you're just starting with a couple £100 or dollars a month, is what's going to help you get started with this. And then ultimately it's going to build brand awareness and authority, because if you start running more and more ads over time, you're going to build more authority and awareness and trust through the ads you're running. Because not only does ads help you with getting more customers and clients, people start seeing you more and more and more, and they assume that you can afford to do ads. Because even though ads is cheap to get started with, and it's the entire reason for making this video, to show you how low barrier to entry it is for most people, But people still have that stigma that people that are running ads can afford to run them because it's normally seen as this really costly marketing practice, when in fact you can start for just like 50 to £100 a month if you really have to. And then the last thing is you get quick results and it's guaranteed growth. Like there's no other marketing practice where you can invest 5 to 10% of your product or service price and then get a guaranteed few leads, and from that a guaranteed customer or client. And that's why even if you only have your first $50, $100, or even a couple $100, you're going to get a guaranteed customer or client from that. And that's why you just need to get started with this as soon as you can. So if you're finding this video helpful, then below I've linked even more free value, which is a free 5-step blueprint to help you scale your business. So again, regardless of what stage of business you're at and regardless of what size of business you have, this will help you scale no matter what. So that is linked in the description below. But without further ado, let's get on with the rest of the video. This is something that you desperately need in your business if you don't already have one. You need a funnel. Now, it doesn't matter what size of funnel you actually have in your business, because quite frankly, you don't even need a complex funnel if you've never had one before. But I want to quickly show you what a funnel actually looks like. So this is what a funnel is if you've never heard of it or seen one before. I don't mean a funnel which is going to help you pour liquid into a bigger thing because you don't want to spill it over the side of the lid for it. But this is what an online funnel looks like. And ultimately what a funnel is doing is it's taking people from the very top of the awareness stage, whether it's the social media content, the ads you're running, whatever it might be. Then it's taking them to the awareness and interest stage where people have become interested in whatever offer or piece of content you had. Like maybe you're watching this and then you decide to look at my website, or you decide to, click on the email and subscribe to a newsletter, whatever it might be. That's when you have people's interest in your products or services, or the desired outcomes or pain points you're helping solve. And then you finally have people in the middle of this funnel nearly, when you actually have people's interest, and then you start sparking their interest with offers or stories about other customer successes or client successes or whatever it might be. And this is when you finally get, the next stage of people, which is they've gone from interested to now desire, because they've looked at the offers you have, they've looked at client testimonials, customer successes, product feedback, product review, service testimonials, all these sort of things. And they're now at the stage where they would take action, but they're still hesitant, they're still looking, and they're still going through the process of like looking at your emails and like clicking away, not interested yet, looking at your SMS, opening it, but not doing anything. And then finally, you get that final follow-up email, that final follow-up SMS, WhatsApp, email, whatever it might be, where there's the irresistible offer. There's half price for the next 3 months. There's, a free demo, free consultation, this free goodie that seems like an irresistible offer. And that is when a certain percentage of people that are finally desiring your thing but haven't yet taken action choose to take action and buy from you and become happy little guy down here that has bought from you, or happy guy or girl there. So that's the importance of a funnel, because most people, to a certain extent, have a funnel. Obviously, if they have an ad, that goes to an inquiry form on their website, or just to book a call with them and with their mobile, and then they close them as a client or customer. But that is the most basic funnel. That is basically, if I get a pen out real quick, that's basically awareness and then straight to, like, this is like one stage basically for them, which is, that is basically one entire stage for them. And then it's action, which again, that's fine as long as you have somewhat of a process surrounding it. Because if you have this, but you don't have checkpoints between each stage, you're going to lose so many people. And what I mean by this is, if I just get rid of all this, let's say you very simply have an ad or a piece of content that gets someone's interest. Then they book a call with you. Then on that call, maybe you gather their interest or maybe not, but either way, let's say half the people go away because they're not interested in buying yet, half people buy. So great. Some people have bought, that's fantastic. A small amount of people have bought directly, but most of the people, even bigger hour of people, have not yet bought yet and are still in this next stage. Let me just get, a different color slightly. Most people are still at this stage. They're still not ready to buy yet. So what do we do at this point? This is where most people get stuck, because they don't have this next stage, which is basically between interest and desire. Most people get stuck here with the other half of their leads that just left them after that inquiry call or the email or whatever it might be. So the way you actually deal with this is simply having what's called like a nurturing sequence. It's when you have newsletters, it's when you have email campaigns, it's when you have follow-up SMSs, all this sort of stuff. So in this stage, that's when you're capturing people, in this entire stage right here. Too many colors going on, so might not make sense. But either way, that's the stage in the middle that most people lose half of their leads because they're not sending, they don't have a basic sort of automated SMS outreach sequence that's sending a text message once a week or twice a week, or adding them to a newsletter, reminding you to follow up with them after a couple of days, because otherwise there's like buyer's remorse and all this sort of stuff. So to start with, realize you need a funnel and a basic one. Obviously, going from an ad to an inquiry form and then a call is still a funnel, but then you need something that sends basic sort of follow-ups and reminders so that you get more and more people that go from this stage down to buying from you and becoming more and more customers or clients of your business. So that's why that's important, and that's why ultimately you need some sort of setup and workflow to actually guarantee that more and more people aren't lost in your pipeline and you actually get them as customers or clients of your business. Or even long term, they just end up maybe buying something that you offer later down the line. People can stay leads for years in some cases. Then there is one simple but very, very powerful and effective thing that you can do and put on your websites, in your social media content, in your ads, to basically 5 to 10x the amount of lost customers and potential clients you could be getting. And this is a basic thing called a lead magnet. So what a lead magnet is it's basically like a information capture form. You're gathering as much information about potential interested customers or clients by providing them some sort of free value. And the free value can come in any form of free PDF, video breakdown, whatever it might be. It might come in like a teaser of your product or service. People can maybe get a free piece of it as like, look, I want to give you this just to kind of show you what it is before you actually consider buying it. And then sometimes if you're like a service-based business, you might, provide free quotes for people based on some information they can give you. So you can give them a quote for your service or your product if it kind of varies in price depending on what their needs are and requests are, so that you can actually give them a quote and then get back to them as well. Now, if you don't use a lead magnet or any kind of lead capture form, you end up losing pretty much 99% of any possible interested customer or client that comes across your website, business, or content of any kind. Because if someone goes to your website, they're an interested person because they've come onto your website. Even if they're not necessarily one of your ideal target customers, they've at least come onto your website. And what a lot of people don't realize is that even if someone isn't your ideal customer that comes onto a website, they at least probably know someone that is one of your ideal customers, because people know people, even if it's just friends or family. So every person that comes onto your website that doesn't get into one of your lead capture forms, your lead magnet forms, is a lost lead. And then, of course, if you don't have one, there is kind of no trust, authority, or rapport built, because people already get to see or hear a little bit about what you do in some sort of free value. If it's obviously a quote, they can see how much you care about helping them out by providing them with the information for you to give them a quote. Or if it is in the free value or information you're giving them as well, it can just be how you present the information. And often just if you're in the information yourself, you can be heard, you can be seen, whatever it might be in the video or photos. And then the last piece is literally the fact that you're not getting any extra information. This especially applies to quotes here, because if someone is trying to actually figure out how much this thing might cost, if it's a varied cost, they have no earthly idea of how much this thing might cost, which means that you're not getting any extra information, because someone could put in a lot of helpful information about their situation to get a quote from you. But if you don't have a lead capture form to get a quote, for them, then you're not going to get any extra information. So all in all, this is why you need a lead magnet, because you need to capture their information, because otherwise you're going to lose almost every single lead that comes your way. And then, of course, it just gives people a little taste of what you can actually offer in the first place. And then sometimes you actually just need the information up front in the first place to be able to provide them with a decent quote of some kind. So all that to say, if you don't use any sort of lead capture form, even if it's just like an email inquiry, if it's like a free PDF breakdown, and again, thanks to ChatGPT and AIs these days, you can now literally create some sort of free PDF in less than 20, 30 minutes like I have before. So just apply it to your website and social media content in some way, shape, or form to stop losing so many potential customers and clients in your pipeline. If your business runs off booking appointments, but a lot of the time you get no-shows, and a lot of the time they don't show up, whether it's in person, a Zoom call, a follow-up call, whatever it might be, I want to help you reclaim your no-shows and show you a step-by-step process of what a funnel looks like, whether it's a small funnel or a big funnel, and how to actually reclaim your no-shows. So first of all, why are you getting no-shows in the first place? The first thing is obviously knowing how much interest the person has in the first place, which is this stage of the funnel. So when you're actually booking someone in for an appointment in the first place, there's two things to actually be aware of when you're actually booking someone in for an appointment. The first thing is obviously, like, one, are they interested? So do they know like what you offer, what you're trying to do? As is there any reason for them to come on the call in the first place? The second one is the logistics of the call. Do they know when it is, when is it, and where is it, and like how long, etc. Right? So if they don't know the answers to those questions, or if they aren't, obviously, if the first one is true and they're not even interested, it's just like they are kind of just booking a call to book a call, and that's the case with a lot of like service-based, a lot of agency owners especially. And if they don't know the second one here, like when is it, where is it, and how long it is, then that's going to play into their interest as well. So making sure that these two are concretely confirmed. One, they are interested to hop on another follow-up call, or go on an appointment, they come to this place at this time, go on this Zoom call, have this follow-up call at this time. They know roughly what it's going to be about, and they know how long it's going to be roughly. That's the most important thing, because naturally, although most people like say they care about the time, but really they're happy to waste hours in a day, people naturally still on the surface do actually care about if it's going to be 5 minutes or 50 minutes. So naturally, make sure people know how long it's going to be and when it's going to be and where it's going to be. Like, it's going to be a Zoom call, a voice call, Discord, Zoom, Skype, phone call, in person, whatever it's going to be. Once those two are concretely confirmed and you know those two, now you're at a stage where you're going to get a lot more shows to begin with. So actually, it's basically like a funnel approach anyway. If you're not getting any sales, you first want to see how many people you're getting here in the first place. So when it comes to appointments and no shows, first of all, make sure they're actually interested in the first place and you actually got their attention to come on the call to begin with. Then, of course, even in these situations when all of these questions have been answered, you still don't actually get 100% of people showing up to a call. So what do you do here? Well, this is where you have basically what I call like no-show nurture sequences. So this is part of your funnel, basically between like these two sections, basically between interest and action, basically. So what's happening here is you're going to have things like email, SMS, reminders. Obviously, you're going to have the no-show ones first, no-show reminders first. Then you're going to have like rebooking, like reminders, rescheduling reminders after that as well, to like for the coming days and weeks ahead, to actually, if they genuinely missed the appointment or whatever, they want to reschedule it, that's fine. Then after that, you're going to have basically like a callback. Like I would normally immediately call them back after the first appointment, within like 1 to 2 hours or after a day, to see like do they want to rebook or whatever it might be. And to be honest, that alone, if you've done that, like I would say in order, it would be 1 and then 2, and then this is still technically part of 2 here, and then 3. Okay, I can't even, there we go. I don't know why. Oh, okay, it's because it's part of the different thing. Okay, well, either way, that's 2, as you can see there. And then 3, again, I'd like call them back whenever you're next available, or like a third callback, basically like third call, like further callback. So either way, that is a basic like approach to win back as many people that didn't show up to the appointment in the first place. So hopefully that all makes some basic sense. Like at the end of the day, this is just the basic like foundational levels of creating a sequence and having some sort of process for recapturing as many no-shows as possible. Because obviously the first place is actually making sure they're interested in the appointment in the first place. They're dedicated to coming on a call, coming to the location, whenever it is, wherever it is, how long it's going to be. And then if they still don't show up, calling them back, email, SMS reminders. And obviously a lot of people naturally ghost you anyway, but obviously it's just time wasters, whatever it might be. But that is the basics of reclaiming no-shows, making sure that they're actually going to show up in the first place, because that is what's going to guarantee you that more and more people actually show up for their appointments. And then this is a very low barrier to entry, even free in most cases, way to start following up with potential customers or clients, whether they're interested or not to begin with, if they have engaged in some way with your social media content on your website, with an inquiry form, with a free download, just by coming into your store or online even. This is a way that even for free to get started with, you can actually follow up with them and get people to become interested if they're not already, or if they are interested, actually become a customer or a client. And this is one of the age-old ways of doing it with email marketing. It's been around for decades now, and it's why the OG business owners and businessmen for decades and decades got onto email marketing and have never let it go, because it's one of the age-old ways of marketing that, again, whether it is some old couple, they will still use email, or whether it is your sons or daughters, everybody uses email to a certain extent. So that's why there's all these types of email marketing as well. And this is what I think, it might look overwhelming, hopefully it doesn't, but these are just some of the basic ways to actually get started with email marketing. I think the most fundamental way to start is basically having things like, behavioral emails and promotional emails. So people come onto your website, they download something, they get added to one of your email campaigns, or a big one is obviously like abandoned cart. I've talked about that before, where people come to your website, they add their email, they don't quite check out, and then you can have abandoned cart type of, browse abandonment, purchase follow-up, and engagement emails. But not to go too technical with it, these are just some basic ideas. I've attached drip campaigns to every type of email campaign, because ultimately just a drip campaign is a continuing nurturing follow-up sequence. But these are just some basic ideas of how you can get started with email marketing and ways that you can continue to follow up with people, whether they have expressed interest or not in your products or services. So this is just a basic idea of how you can actually get started with it. So obviously, starting my marketing, you have your target audience, you have people that are either engaging with your content on social media, they're coming into your store or visiting your website, and then you get their interest and they're engaging with your email list from then on. You send them emails about offers, about services you provide, about extra things. You engage with other interests, and then you basically follow through sequences, you optimize different things until you get to the point where in the end, people that were interested or even not interested end up engaging with offers or follow-ups until the point where they're ready to buy from you. So I don't want to go into too much detail other than that, but this is just a basic idea of how you can get started with email marketing. This one simple trick will 10x your business, guaranteed. It's a very, very simple but extremely effective tip and trick that not enough people use, especially small business owners. I have small business owner clients and they weren't doing this. I've implemented this for them and before for other clients, and it's doubled and tripled and 5x'd their impressions, their revenues, and their sales because of this simple thing. And it's very simple, but all it simply is call to actions, or CTAs. And what a call to action is, if you don't already know, is it's simply the button or the link or whatever way someone can take the next step in their journey to become a customer or client from your business. So if it is in an ad and it says learn more, buy now, register, pre-order, request a quote, that's a call to action. If it's on your website and it's an inquiry form or a link to book a call, book a demo, sign up, buy now, pre-order, that's a call to action. If it is like a pop-up with a link to put an email, that's a call to action. All these different things, whether it's in an email, whether it's on your website, whether it's in an ad, whether it's on a piece of content or on a comment on a piece of content, those are all call to actions. And the reason they're so important is because we are grabbing the person's attention, grabbing the person that is interested in whatever they're looking at or whatever they're scrolling through on a website or an email or an ad. And it's getting their attention and capturing their interest before they are no longer interested. And before they click away or move away or close the site or close the email, close the ad, whatever it might be, scroll on. And so you want to put these everywhere. In your ads, in your content, whether it's free ads, paid ads, content, TikTok, wherever it might be. You want to comment below your post with a link to book a call, to learn more, to go to your website, book a demo. You want it, obviously, ads do it naturally anyway with a learn more or any sort of buy now button they have. On a website, you have inquiry forms, you've got book a free demo calls, you've got pre-order, you've got save 10% with this link here, call to actions, all that sort of stuff. In emails, you have newsletter emails with pre-order, register now, book a free demo, all these types of things. Inquire now, register your interest and buy now sort of thing. SMS is the same type of thing as emails, just on the phone instead, really, just instead of an email. And the reason this is so important is because of actual articles. I just looked this up before I was making this video because I wanted some actual statistics, which was the reason for being able to say that this actually can 10x your business. Because according to HubSpot, emails with a simple, clear call to action can increase clicks by over 371%, 3.7x increase in sales in this case drove by over 1,617%, over 10x. So literally, by having a call to action has 3x the number of clicks on an email here, or the number of replies in this case on an email, and it increased sales by 1.6, like 10.6x in this case. And then additionally, personalized call to actions. So maybe in an email, it might be like pre-order now name. So pre-order now John, pre-order now Patrick, or buy now Patrick. Those personalized call to actions then converted 202% better than basic call to actions as well, because they align with the audience's interest and journey. And ultimately, it's just having a way to not only at the beginning of this, just simply actually getting someone's attention and capturing that attention before they've lost interest, before they have any, lose interest and don't want to look at it anymore. And then, of course, personalized call to action whenever you have the opportunity to do that, then just converts even more and more people. So this is incredibly important for whatever stage in the buyer's journey, whatever product or service you're selling. You need call to actions at every stage of the journey, whatever part of the funnel, whether it's an ad, whether it's on your website, whether it's in an email, whether it's in a text message or a WhatsApp message or a Telegram message, whatever part of the journey it's in, whatever format it's in, having a link or a way for someone to click to go to the next step, to put in their information, their email, their number, their age, their name, whatever it might be, to be able to grab them as a lead, capture their attention, so then they can become a customer or at least get into your funnel. Because otherwise, you don't even need a funnel if you've got no leads in the first place. And in order to have a funnel, you need a call to action in the first place. So there we go. That's about all I have for you today. If you found any of this information helpful, then please feel free to like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and just comment your thoughts below on anything you found helpful or insightful, and consider sharing this around to anybody that you might think will find this helpful as well, fellow business owners, entrepreneurs, or anything like that. So nonetheless, thanks very much for watching. And if you do want more help on growing your business too, again, like I said in the middle of the video, feel free to look at the links in the description of this video. One is a free 5-step blueprint, and also you have the option to book a free one-to-one call with myself or a member of my team, and we'll go through your exact situation to see if there's any possibility that we might be able to help you grow your business today. But nonetheless, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.